The woman sprayed a stream of blue liquid into the air, then she tapped it gently with her hand. In the next moment a glowing blue vein appeared out of thin air. She proceeded to inject the unknown liquid directly into the vein, and just like that, something incredible happened. A heart slowly emerged and began pumping blood throughout a transparent body within minutes. Under the effects of the serum, a full set of internal organs and systems had developed. Just as the human form was about to take full shape, an alarm suddenly went off. The newly formed figure started to destabilize, vital signs were rapidly declining, and the heart was on the verge of shutting down. Panic spread through the room. They quickly grabbed the defibrillator to revive the subject. After 3 shocks, the heart began beating steadily again. Soon after, the skin began growing hair, and standing before them was a fully formed gorilla. Yes, their experiment had worked. The serum they had injected was a type of invisibility compound. Once administered, it rendered the subject, human or animal, completely transparent. Only thermal imaging could reveal their presence. To restore visibility, a secondary serum had to be injected. At that moment, Jack made a wild decision. He volunteered to test the serum on himself. Without hesitation, he removed his shirt and lay down on the operation table. Since he was the lead researcher, no one dared object. They tied him down tightly to prevent any unforeseen reactions after the injection. The female scientist carefully withdrew the invisibility serum. A large syringe was inserted into Jack's body. Within minutes, his skin began to lose color, muscles faded, and even his bones started to disappear. Before long, he had completely vanished. The first phase of the test was a success, but the next phase, the visible serum, could not be administered until 3 days later. Only then would they know if Jack could return to normal, but no one expected what would happen next. During those 3 days, Jack began acting on impulse. One night, a female colleague nodded off during her shift. The lab door slowly creaked open, and the buttons on her blouse began to unfasten by themselves. She suddenly woke up, glanced at the thermal monitor, saw Jack sleeping in his chamber, so she thought nothing of it. Meanwhile, another female researcher was using the restroom. When she heard something strange, she quickly reached for the thermal goggles, but saw nothing, and let out a sigh of relief. Jack's pranks over the next few days drove everyone on edge. Finally, the 3rd day arrived, and it was time for Jack to receive the visibility serum. But during the injection, something went wrong. His body began rejecting the compound. Pain twisted his entire frame. The experiment was declared a failure. Once again faded from sight. With no better option, they allowed him to remain invisible. As a safety measure, they made him a full-body rubber suit. But Jack didn't want to stay in the lab. Late at night, he slipped out unnoticed. He went back to his apartment, stood by the window, and spotted a woman getting dressed across the street. He watched intently until the woman suddenly pulled the curtains shut. Jack instantly became frustrated. As he looked down at his transparent hands, a daring idea began to form in his mind.